everybody, how are you? I want to just send out a huge thank you to all my subscribers, all those that are sending me wonderful comments and compliments on my cards. It is just so refreshing to open up my computer and respond. So I just wanted to quickly say hello before I start my cards this morning, and we're going to do monochromatic cream colored cards and then just add a little something to them. Okay, so have yourself a blessed week and I will see you on the next tutorial. Take care, everybody. A very warm welcome to my craft room, and I thought I'd just do a little intro because without you, my subscribers, I wouldn't have a channel. So I want you to know that you are in the forefront of my mind always when I put my tutorials up. My tutorials are for you and for us to be inspired together to create. So I'm using the My Favorite Things Hot Cocoa set, if you can believe it, from 2015 when this set came out. I'm going to do a giveaway of a package of Christmas cards, and I'll do that when I get all of these done. I'll do one at a time, and when I get finished the tutorials on doing 4 to 6 cards, I'll see when I run out of product. I'm using cream cardstock so that we get a monochromatic look. This paper is from Michael's. It's 120-pound cardstock and it's wonderful. You will love working with it. And I am also using the We Are Memory Keepers, really the larger embossing folders, you know, that get the real great impression when you use it. I can't think of what the name, but they're the last ones they came out with. So it's the crisscross pattern for the mugs. And I want to mention, I was going to do like a 4-piece set to give away, but what I'm thinking is I will do 6 cards and then I will randomly give 6 people a card for Christmas. So I will just mix them up, and you can leave me a comment with what you liked about the card I'm making. They're all going to be different. They will be monochromatic in the sense they'll be cream with one color to brighten up the card, just to give it some dimension. And I'll be using a mainstay color, and you'll see what I mean as I go through the tutorial. So there'll be 4 to 6 cards that I will be giving away soon as I use up all of that product on my desk. I just kept cutting away and thought of nice cards, you know, that I can send in the mail. I'm just showing you everything on my island. Yes, my Coca-Cola for sure. And here, isn't that pretty? This set has the marshmallows. It has the chocolate bar. I don't know what the circles are for, but it has the cream, the whipped cream. It has the mugs, and it has the, you know, the smoke, the hot heat element coming up out of the mug. It is a beautiful set. It has the oval piece that shows you the liquid, the actual cocoa. That's what I'm cutting out here. And you place that on the top of the mug. We'll go through that slower as I am creating the card. And once again, I do want to thank each person that takes the time to send me such beautiful comments. I do appreciate that. I am just shy of 12,000 subscribers. You don't know how excited that makes me feel. You know, it makes the work of doing tutorials and voiceovers and yada yada, the whole thing, just a delight for me. So thank you again. And here I'm just going to show you some of the elements up there that these Christmas cards will be made from. The one is the Sizzix die that you see, the big one there we're going to use on this card with the mugs. I thought it would look nice with a mug on each side. I'm going to raise everything up so it's double dimensional. And the Merry Christmas, I'll mention all of the sets I use. Now this is a 140-pound white cardstock that I made the cream out of, so that even though we're using everything mostly in cream cardstock, the white will remain a little whiter on the cream portion. So let's make our card. I am making my own background because it is a bigger card. I think it is 5.5 by 6.5, but I'll leave the measurements. I'll go and measure it when I get done this voiceover and leave it on here before I put it through. And I'm going to score it, and I'm going to make a little gusset like I always do on my cards. So I need enough room here just to be able to put this Sizzix die nicely. I make a little 1/4 inch with my Martha Stewart scoreboard there. I'm going to zoom in so you can see, actually it's a 1/2 inch, and then I go over one line so I have a small 1/8 inch gusset. And that's nice when you're folding it, because I am going to put Merry Christmas on the inside. Mary will be stacked 3 high. Here is a Stampendous, more of a childlike set, the Cats and Birds from Tim Holtz, and the Butterfly with the beautiful stencil. I'll be using these as far as inking on a few of the cards, but the rest of them will be die cut. This is a Sizzix die cut my husband bought me some time ago for my birthday. Yes, our little doggy's going to help get some of the guts out of it too. Yeah, and speaking of little doggies, excuse me, our dog Cinnamon got into the skunk the 2nd time last week. Oh yes. Instead of being sprayed, she went to the area where she was sprayed, and because it was at 2 in the morning, I didn't quite know where that area was, and she rolled in it. So I went through that whole process for a couple of days again. Yeah, I'm getting a little wise to her now when we take her out, but anyhow, I thought I'd throw that in. Isn't this a beautiful die? I just love it. I'll leave the numbers too in the description box for you if you're interested in this one. And I'm going to put the double-sided tape on the middle part, but we are going to have to glue it with any liquid glue. I'm just using the Nuvo. I like it because it dries clear, and I am just dotting it. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Our Thanksgiving was Monday, and you know you're always, after you do the cooking and you know the whole day gets by, you know how tired you are. Like, I'm 63, I'm not a spring chicken, so boy, on Tuesday, yes, I was very tired being on my feet all day, but loved this Thanksgiving with family. It was just wonderful. So happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian friends. So what I'm going to do here is, oh, hello, yes, just wanted to say hello again, is have a little bit of fun here. It is 10 to 11 p.m. My grandson is sleeping right next to me while I'm doing my voiceover, and he has been staying with us for a couple of days. He loves to stay at his Papa and Nana's house. So I waited for him to fall asleep, and then I got set up here so I could finish the tutorial. Can you believe it? He sleeps like a little bear. He's 3 years old, and yeah, it's wonderful. So let's see where I am. This heart set that I have here is put together with a whole lot of other dies that I have, so I can't really tell you the name. I didn't keep the tags with the names on them, but any hearts would look nice going across the edges just to fill in the empty gaps. You know how I am with filling in gaps, and I want to let you know that, oh, excuse me, yeah we have to do that, right? So I'm going to show you. I was going to put these stitched hearts across the bottom, but you know, it was too big of an element. And then I thought of covering it with this heart die. It's called a wobble heart, where they're different sizes, but that didn't seem to do it for me. So as I am looking around, I'm thinking, okay, I have it. It's just a tad on the crooked side. Now, if I was doing some gold in there, I would cover it up with one of those gold star form. It's called star form stickers. I had a friend ask me that in a comment, and it's star form stickers, I think. Once I trim it on a little bit of a slant, I will straighten the bottom up, and then adding hearts and embellishments on it will really help. So here's the little die that I punched the row of hearts out of it, and I'm going to go around the edges and just cut them off with the Nuvo, well, cut them off with my scissors, and then add the Nuvo liquid glue, and then it will dry in a matter of seconds. I'm just holding it down, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to leave it as clean and simple of a Christmas card as I can, but yet, you know, I love dimensions, so we'll see how that goes, right? So let's start to create. I have the stitched hearts that come with the MFT Cocoa set, and it comes with non-stitched hearts, so you get both of great worlds there. And I did them in white and I did them in cream. And here's where I decided I am going to double up on the mugs. I'm going to put a plain one and then my quilted one over top. And I'm just setting the plan here. There's the ovals that go on, and it has a indent so you can see where you need to put the oval to add the cocoa. I thought I would just add the reasoning along with how I design a card like this from out of the air, basically. I didn't really know, I didn't have a sketched plan or anything. I just knew I had the 2 mugs of hot chocolate, and I wanted to have it in more of an antique looking way on the card, and I wanted to have hearts, and it has that little chocolate bar. And what's really nice about this set, you can see I've made multiple die cutting of all of these, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I stack them? You know, do I put them side by side? Do I build them up? You know, that's kind of where I went from here. So I grabbed some dark distress ink, and I started going lightly, and I'm going to stress very lightly over the top of the Sizzix die. And then it brought that depth that we so love on our cards, don't we? And it brought it right up. I couldn't leave it plain. I had to have it stand out. So, of course, I went around all the edges here of the mug, even underneath the plain mug and the embossed mug that I did, you know, with the embossing folder. So they're going to be too high, like not too high, but too high. Now, I did start this video this morning, so you know when you have a 3-year-old grandson staying over for the day and the evening, I had to do it in little segments. So it's now 11 p.m. and I think I started this morning at around 9 a.m. So we'll see if I go past midnight. I probably will, like always, right, on the voiceovers. So anywho, let's just go. We're going to put some wonderful brown ink. You can use any inks you want, and just do a light brush over, and then I'm going to use that big Scotch roll and bring them up in the air a little bit and put as much of it as I can around the mug. And I think it looks good just like that. And I wanted to really, let me just interject here, I thought I wanted to put those hearts in because it's oh so good. And I thought it does my heart well to have a sit down and have a wonderful cup of cocoa with marshmallows, whipped cream, with a friend. And yeah, and just the background there, that Sizzix die reminded me of a nice tablecloth, like a nice linen tablecloth. So all these things kind of go through my head as I'm designing for you and giving you just a little bit ideas. And this is going to be a giveaway card, so I'm going to put it in bubble wrap, and I'm going to make a matching envelope. And then at the end of all my cards that I make for this giveaway, I will show you the envelopes. I have to say that I love making the envelopes as much as I do the cards, because you can be creative both ways. And I do have some really cute ideas of making shaker envelopes. I thought that would be so cute, so you can keep that in mind. So here we have the cocoa by patting down the ink to the paper so that you leave some cream space in there. I think it looks cute. And then we're going to do the exact same thing by taking the little chocolate bar, but I don't think it's right here. Right now I want to go around the stitched hearts with my distress ink. There's one there. I love that they include in the MFT Cocoa die set the stitched heart as well as the non-stitch heart. So I went around the edges, and this one is not stitched one that went behind. I'm glad I'm pulling it forward for you so that you can see that. And I did this one as well, and I'm not adding anything to the back to raise them up, just the wet glue. And I keep looking underneath that I don't get my, I call this a clean and simple card. And so I don't get it with any dirt on it because I don't want to have to build more layers on top of it. So let's add some Scotch foam tape underneath our cream that's going up there. It looks like those Dairy Queen ice cream swirls, doesn't it? Oh, it's just yummy. So I'm going to put the double-sided tape, put that down, but a little while later I'm going to show you what I do that really makes it look like whipped cream going around there. So once I get it settled, come on there, Carol. I think I'm going to have more ink on the top of my fingers than on the actual mug. We shall see. Well, I thought as I am designing, this is what I do first. I lay it all out, and you know, just because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those mini marshmallows yet. I remember that liquid snow applique that you put on. It's in a tube, and I have 3 tubes in my craft room. And do you think I could find the 2 full ones? Oh no, I could only find the one that had a tiny bit left. And you'll see how I struggle with that, but I do end up getting it out. And I take my stick, my pick stick right here, to pick up the little marshmallows. I have these are in white. I kept them in, you know, I die cut them in white and the cream, but I'm using the white, and I'm not gluing them on yet. And if you're wondering, it's orthodontic wax that I put on the end of my pick stick. You can buy it from any pharmacy, Walmart, whatever. Comes in a little wee square packet that you flip up, and it works wonderful to just put some on the end of anything. Even a pencil, it would work. You don't have to have this pick stick. Just grab a pencil and twirl some orthodontic wax on there and make a point, and you can pick up anything. So there you go. I hope that helps you. It does me here. So I'm going to see how many of these marshmallows I want to put on there before I put my liquid applique. And I managed to find 1 out of 3. The one that was almost empty I found. I don't know what that is, and I remember moving it. I remember taking the 2 new ones I had and saying, I'm going to put these right there so I don't forget where they are when I need them. I moved them from where they stayed for a year. For some reason, it had to go in another spot. We'll see what year I end up finding those. Well, here's the liquid applique that I could find, and I'm telling you, I had to put my muscles into this. It is snow liquid applique, and when you heat this, it's wet and kind of plasticky looking when it comes out. And you can see I'm really struggling. That is all I could get out of that tube. Look at me, the bare end. Then I take the end of my pick stick, and I just make lines going across. There's my pick stick, yes. And then I just kind of scribble it all around, because remember, we're going to heat set it, and it's going to just bubble up beautifully. And it's going to have that real cream look to it. Look at that. It looks like you could just pick that mug up and take a sip, doesn't it? I just love it. And yeah, and now we have to put our steam on there. I kept saying our heat I don't know, I kept saying a whole lot of things for these things, but it is actually our steam that's coming out of there. We're going to work on that. I'm going to kind of stagger them, and they're going to be too high, one on top of the other, and I will, you know, kind of tilt them to get a little bit of ghosting on there. I'll have white and then I'll have cream intermingled, and I think this is a beautiful, beautiful die set. To have all of this included together, it's wonderful. Now, once you situate all of those steam little lines like this, I took my Nouveau Crystal Glaze, and the glossy accents, they're the same in the sense they both leave that watery look, but the Nouveau dries half the time because it's thinner. I'm just folding the red sheet here so nothing gets dirty. So I go over all of the steam like this, and they're too high and one on top of the other, and then a little crooked, some of them, so that it looks like a bit of ghosting. So I'm going to put the heart on here. I think it's the cream one I put on first, and this one is like a flat. I haven't put it under the embossing folder. And then the next one is the stitched heart in white, and I thought it would kind of offset the white, the cream, the white, the cream, and make it really pretty. And now we're going to pounce our little chocolate bar. I don't want to swipe it because I want it to look the same texture as the cocoa in the mug. And then I'm going to add that over top of the two hearts. We're going with the two heart theme there. And then this will add the unevenness. I wasn't sure where to put it. Yeah, I'm going around, right there, right between the two hearts. And I think it's so cute. You know, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of marshmallow, some cream. Oh yes, that'll set you back about 9,000 calories. And to tell you the truth, it doesn't matter to me because this tastes delicioso. Now, our stamp of approval by Catherine Pooler. This is the candy cane collection from last Christmas. And I love these candy canes because they aren't quite, they're just a little wonky. They're not real straight. I like that about them. I love the stripes. They have different texture. Design on them. I just love it, and they come with the dies. And this is the Rockin' Red of Catherine's ink, as juicy can be, bright and vivid, and this is a Christmas red. It's beautiful. I put it on the cream, and you can see I only had to stamp it once, and her photopolymer stamps are beautiful. And by the way, the new Christmas collection is over on her blog, catherinepooler.com. You can check that out. And this is the stamp of approval die set if you want to get the stamps and the die together. I like to keep the dies, like I said, together. If I did say it, I can't remember because I take out things as I'm editing, you know, and I stop and I redo it and yada yada. But I do like to keep them all connected, and then I will put them on wherever I have to make it that it works like this for me, because then I'm not shuffling through anything to find a particular die. So that works for me. And isn't it a cute candy cane set with and her Catherine's photopolymer stamps are tops. They're beautiful. They wipe clean, they stamp clean. I love that. Most times when I die cut things, I like to go around the edges with either black ink or in this case red ink, but I didn't because I want it to blend into the cream cardstock, so I left it alone. And I was thinking, you know what, maybe if I hang it off the handle of the mug. That's what I did first, and I didn't like it. So I added some glue, and I decided to make another heart, a candy cane heart underneath the double heart. And I didn't raise them up. I just crisscrossed them like this, and just love the pattern. They're almost like an opposite pattern where one has the stripe and then the other stripe is filled in. It's so cute. And then I just measured it across so it was reasonably even. And we're going to set that aside, I think, here. For some reason, I don't even know what I was doing there. It's so much fun, like at 11:30 at night, and I'm watching my edit, trying to remember what I did this morning when I was making this card. But anyway, so I'm holding the Nouveau glue or glaze in my hand. Oh yes, I'm going to go on to the inside and glue this later. Do you notice all the precaution I'm taking so that it stays nice and clean? Oh yes, Merry Christmas. And I wanted to add, they will get an envelope to match. I'm leaning it against the surgical tape on the other side to keep it nice and clean. I'm adding glue to another piece of this beautiful Sizzix die square, the same as what's on the front. And we're going to put it on the inside, and the inside's going to be quite simple. It's going to have this beautiful die cut right here, which will fill up the space that's on the inside. Keep it nice and clean, and it just has a lot of mixed elements. And the glue is nice if you just put little bits of dots on there so that it doesn't ooze out. And then I took this I had a Merry Christmas die. I think this is from Stampin' Up! From years back. I can't remember. I put all my dies in one of the pockets, and didn't keep where they were from. Yes. Boy, oh boy, I don't know what's happening, because generally I like to have them marked, but it didn't matter. I knew it said Merry Christmas, so, I don't get commissioned off of selling anything, so I just have to roll with it, right? And look at here, Christmas gifts. Once I get them stacked 3 high, and I get the ink that I'm going to use, in this case, the Catherine Pooler inks. This is Rockin' Red. It's a beautiful red for Christmas red. And the Merry die, I will try to figure out where I got this one for you. They were just all together in my dies, and I didn't keep the names, sorry. So I'm pouncing them because I want to leave some of the white as you see it stacked up. I didn't want to have it all red. Once that is a little bit dry, I'm going to take the Nouveau crystal glaze over top, and if you just use a light hand and raise it up just a little bit from your paper, I find that it comes out with a thinner layer when it's up high, and you can move it a little faster. And then take your pick stick, or in this case, or your pokey tool, to take the glue out of the holes or along the edges. Works wonderfully. And then, as long as you don't grab that card and set it over top of the mess you just made, wouldn't you have? I can't even imagine it. I think I'd have a heart attack if I did that on the clean cardstock. Oh yes, I don't want to even think of that. Now it's getting close to midnight, and I get a little tired and silly, so let's move on a serious note, right? So this Christmas set is from the Catherine Pooler Candy Cane Lane collection from last year, Christmas set. And so I took that out, and it's Merry Christmas. I cut them in the center, took the Merry away so I could only have Christmas. I find with the photopolymer, look at that. Does that not look beautiful on there? If I could have kept it so you could see it. I think the red is beautiful. I don't know what I'm doing there. There it is. Get it back there, Carol. You know how you are, yes. So I took out the Mini Misty just so I could quickly stamp the Christmas. Loved this font. Because I had the Merry in a different font and it was a die cut, I thought this gorgeous sentiment from Catherine Pooler's Christmas set from last year, her stamp of approval box, the Mary was, it wasn't so close that I could cut them in half and put them back together easily to form Merry Christmas with the other font. So this worked out well. I took a piece of cream cardstock to practice, and now I'll take a longer piece because I want to cut a tail at the end. And I used VersaFine Detail black ink. I love this ink for a deep, dark black on your sentiments. So I did it 2 or 3 times, and look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I just loved it. And you want to pick cut out a long enough piece of cardstock so that you can flag the end and cut it in as much as you want, you want to. It's easy to cut away, but it sure is hard to add to, right? So I'll clean the stamp off, and then I will cut it reasonably to what I want as far as the edges. I'm going to place the 3 high Mary at the top there. Isn't that so pretty against cream? I just think cream works well with any color, and adding a little bit of color to cream isn't too bad. I think it really does add elegance, and it keeps it to a clean and simple card as well. I'm considering these cards more of a clean and simple look, yet elegant. Now I took my lace Martha Stewart punch. It will not punch through the 120-pound cardstock from Michaels. So make sure you test out your paper before you've already stamped, right? Yeah. Oh, I was thankful, that it ended up, I had enough of it there I could cut off. After we get this cut on, the upper and the lower level so it looks pretty even, I'm going to flag the one side in. I'm going to do the left side. It always adds a little bit more something to it when it's flagged this way. It's kind of the opposite way. So I like the way it looks like this. And then I take that round applicator. Excuse me, don't you brush away my flag. I tell ya, what does he think he's doing? These dogs these days, right? So I put my double-sided Scotch tape on the back. Then I take that applicator, like I said there, that I already used. I don't want to add any more ink to it. And I go around all the edges of this flag that I created just to get the red pop. So it matched the Mary on top of the card there. And that's about it, my friends. That's what we're going to do with the inside. It has Merry Christmas. I think it's elegant with the black. Don't you love that font? Oh, I almost wanted to try that font myself, but of course I didn't. I thought, no, stick with what you know works, Carol. You want to be sure that when you go to put the Mary on the inside, that the crystal glaze is dry. That is for sure. And here I'm adding it. Now I could turn it over and add it to the chocolate bar, and I added it to the candy canes, and it just gave it that something that I said I wanted to add to this card. And you have to admit with me, it's pretty clean and simple. I think using one die set, My Favorite Things cocoa set, and then taking a few more die elements, die cuts from a few other sets, is all you need. You get the cocoa, and you get the cocoa and the hearts and the candy cane and the chocolate bar. Oh, how sweet. Please let me know in the comments whether I should make 6 cards and give 1 card to one person so that 6 people get 1 card, pull 6 names, or whether I should put them all together and one person gets 6 cards in a stack and in a little box. So let me know what you think. Have yourself a blessed week. Thank you so much for your comments, and thank you for being there for me, and I will see you in the next tutorial. God bless, my friends.